Sri Pandenji, and actually we want to hear him very badly because I want to see the direction of today's entire program to go as per Pandan Saab's. He says I should drive it. I think Pandan Saab should say lay the foundation for the driving of today's game. Please welcome Pandan Saab with a big clap.
Professor Iyer, Mr. Parker, other distinguished speakers on the dais, and my dear friends. Professor Iyer started praising me too much. That's very dangerous for a bureaucrat. Particularly in my last 30 years careers, with except the previous career I used to be, I was in more than 15, 16 positions. So whenever somebody praises, and particularly journalist praises, next day I get a transfer order very soon. Because we are liable to be transferred, and we are supposed to be experts the moment you join a new position. Anyway, it's good to start some debate on solar, and I'm really thankful to Professor Iyer. I think 2-3 occasions I had an opportunity to talk to him one-to-one, individually, personally, and he has a passion to secure energy security for India and all those. That is his fundamental thinking. How we can be a proud country that we should be self-sufficient in energy, and also at the same time avoid these imports of oil, gas, and everything, including uranium. So he talks about, on energy, you talk any subject, whether it is thermal, whether it is nuclear, whether it is hydro, solar, wind. He has vast and wide knowledge, and he has a passion that every state should come and produce enough energy to supply to all the citizens at affordable price and quality energy. So that is his idea. I think that's why I readily agreed for this conference. Normally he organizes in Mumbai. I asked him, why don't you do it in Ahmedabad? I said, Ahmedabad, normally it's in a corner place. Even any international dignitaries, they come to Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, then go away and all those things. Ahmedabad is always neglected. I told him, if you feel, and he has good support for Gujarat, if you feel Gujarat is the happening place, why don't you keep it in Ahmedabad? That's why I called him, and he has fulfilled his promise. Now it is up to us to carry forward how the light which started from Gujarat can spread across the country. And no seminar is conclusive or without Pranav Mehtaji. So he's also here. I'm very much delighted and encouraged to see him. We all know that Gujarat started this solar mission, and last 3 years we talk about many of the seminars, Gujarat solar mission. Our idea was at least 1,000 megawatt. Iyer has put 50 gigawatt. You know, the Jawaharlal Nehru mission is 20 gigawatt by 2022. He has now scaled up to 50 gigawatt. That's good. So our idea was just 1 gigawatt in Gujarat. We need to prove to the world that in India and in Gujarat, solar is possible. Because ever since I joined IAS 30 years ago, we talk about solar, solar heater, solar water pump, solar cooker, and every time it will work for 10 days, then 11th day it will go out of order and all those things. Then we have to call some technician, he will come after 2 to 3 days, then here, now it is better to change it and all those things. So we were not getting that confidence that solar will work. We used to give solar lights to the villages, remote villages in tribal areas and all those. But we were not provided the people to service those street lights once it goes out of order. So the popularity for solar light or solar-based systems vanished, irrespective of the fact that government items very heavily, up to 90% subsidy sometime in the remote areas. So failure after failure, so we were not harnessing the solar energy, which is freely available to us. Nobody needs to pay for the sun. Every day sun is available, 365 days. Sometime rainy days, sometime winter, but even those times, sometime the sun comes out and smile at you. That is India. And why don't we use these natural resources, these natural um, uh, uh, blessing from God, why can't we use it for our creation of energy purpose? That's the idea of the government of Gujarat. That's the Chief Minister's vision. That's why we have started and all those. But we tried and tried when the government of India announced, why don't we get some quota from the central government? Somehow we were not successful in aligning the government of Gujarat policies with the government of India's policies. So then that's why Gujarat went ahead individually and announced this policy, and many people came forward, and we have successfully implemented. That's the history now. That's no need to talk about it. We have history. We have already 750 megawatt commission, another 200 megawatt is going on in a different places. So grid connected, we have started. Originally it was off grid, that's why it failed, off grid in remote places, very small units, we were not able to monitor irrespective of our best efforts. But now this is a concentrated some of the places where we have grid level and grid connected power. So we feed the power into the grid. Once it goes into the grid, it is for everybody and all. Then it is easy to monitor how best the system functions. Now every day we get the SMS, from SLDC. Today's 2 million units of solar energy is produced and fed. Sometimes it is 3 million, sometimes it's 3.5 million. Depending upon the sunshine, we get the detail and all those. Now, India, in Gujarat, we every day, on an average, we need 220 million units. 200 to 220 million units of energy is needed. Out of that, in spite of the fact that we have put up 1,000 megawatt, we get only 2 million from solar. It is just 1% of the total energy which we produce, we are having solar, just 1% and all those things. But how to scale it up? Every state cannot afford this costly energy. It is costlier. Unless we go repeatedly, systematically, it is very difficult to bring down the cost of solar energy. So if you want to scale it up to 50 gigawatt for India, then this price of solar energy has to come down. The panel cost has to come down. The civil cost has to come down. The polysilicon which we use as a raw material, as a original raw material in making the wafers, thin films and all, this all has to come down. So there should be a technology breakup that the efficiency which is now we are obtaining 20% PLF, which has to go up to 30-40% has to go up. That's a technological breakthrough. Another technological breakthrough is needed in concentrated solar photovoltaic. Instead of 4 to 5 acres of land we need for 1 megawatt, if it is 2 acres or 1.5 acres, that is more area, we can put more panels and more production. So other area of research should be how to reduce the area required in putting up the panel for 1 megawatt. Third research is needed is storage. How to store? Sun shines in the morning, from morning 6 o'clock to evening 6 o'clock. If you could see, 6 o'clock it starts slowly, the curve of the production. It started rising after 8 o'clock. It reaches peak between 12 to 4, and suddenly it will be a sudden drop after that. It will be a very big drop in the solar generation. How to store? We need electricity after 6 o'clock and sun stops at 6 o'clock. How to store this solar electricity for 4 to 8 hours? That is another important research is needed. There are researches going on across the world, particularly Japanese are very good in doing research. Sumitomo has done a good research in storage of the solar. So if the storage takes place, then many people will go for solar. That is from the research point of view. From the policy point of view, how we can encourage each and every individual to go for solar. Because right now it is a small or medium businessman or some venture capitalist who have occupied or grabbed these power allocations and all those things. 1 megawatt cost 15 crore. Right now it has come down to 9 to 10 crores. Some people may not agree, it is still 11 to 12 crores or maybe, but it is less than 10 crores. I am damn sure about that. We have to bring down to 5 crore, and individual cannot afford 5 crore. But individuals have rooftop, every house. We are 120 crore populations. That's our Bharat. Out of 120 crores, I assume that one-fifth houses, that means 20 to 30 crores houses will be available. 20 to 30, 22 crores houses, equal amount of public buildings, government offices, schools, colleges, hospitals, bus stand, irrigation canals. These are all huge area is available from the government. Then there are private buildings, commercial buildings, private hospitals, private factories, all these places are available. Then there are land available with the farmers. And all those. How effectively these spaces can be put to use to harness the sun which shines on all of us. It never distinguishes, it never differentiates between Gujarati or Marathi or Hindi or Tamilian or Karnataka. No, sun shines on everybody, on all Indian houses, all Indian buildings. How to make use of this energy, how each and every building can harness. There comes the rooftop. If every house produces just 1 unit a day, 1 kilowatt unit, if they put, every house, I am telling, on an average, that means 220 million, 22 crores, that is equal to 220 million. That is exactly the energy we need for the whole of Gujarat. And all those things. Whole of Gujarat. If every house produce one unit, all over India, one state is taken care and all those things. If they produce two states are taken care. It is just for houses. If the public building is much more, if they also produce the same thing, then another state is taken care. So if 20% of our energy requirement is taken care by sun, then our energy bill will come down and all those things. Energy bill will come down. 3 lakh crore we spend every year to import of oil and gas and all those things. So that much money can be saved. Our foreign exchange can be saved. Now, of course, dollar is available, but still we can save that. Why should we depend upon others and all those things? There we have to come out with policy. Anybody who produce energy, how it can be fed into the grid, how he is going to be paid, what is the guarantee in case something goes out of order, whether not sun, whether it is his equipments, wires, or some meter goes out of order, inverter goes out of order, how he will get the power, because he doesn't want to keep his house under darkness. How he will get the power, how to meter it, how to pay for it, whether it is remunerative, how much to subsidize, all these things have to be worked out. If we work out and if we come out with a scheme which is acceptable to all rooftop owners or all householders or all building owners, then this country is poised to grow beyond a limit. What I am telling, 220 million, which itself is 20,000 megawatt, 20 gigawatt. Another 20 gigawatt in the public buildings. More than that it can, I am just a conservative. 40 gigawatt is already achieved. Another 10 gigawatt you go there. If we introduce solar based pump. Today agriculturist, in Gujarat we charge, it is not free of cost for agriculture, we charge, on an average it is only 55 paise. But my cost of production, my cost of power generation vary from 2 rupee 80 paise to 3 rupees. That means 2.5 rupees, every unit the farmer consumes 2.5 rupees. Government subsidized in one way or other. Maybe this may be cross subsidized by industries or commercial owners, but that is a subsidy which is being enjoyed by the farmer today. So instead of subsidizing government directly, why can't we subsidize solar pumps? So suppose if I introduce solar pumps, then he use the energy generated from his own field that is used to pump or to operate the pump in his own well. Up to 5 HP to 10 HP, yesterday somebody met me, he said up to 10 HP, the solar pumps are working very efficiently, effectively in some parts of India. Some parts of Gujarat is similar to that. Some parts of Gujarat is very deep, water is deep. In North Gujarat, it is 900 feet or 1000 feet you have to go down. Whereas in some of the area, it may be less and all those things. So wherever the water table is a little shallow, maybe Saurashtra, South Gujarat, we can use the solar pumps very effectively. But somebody has to experiment and all those. Because when we wanted this grid-based power, nobody came forward. Who will spend 15 crore and all those? We came forward. GEDA, Germing, and university, all government, together we installed 1 megawatt in PDP, Pandit Deen Dayal Petroleum University. Everybody was telling this may not take off, this may not take off, but it took off. Once it took off and it operated efficiently, then the confidence level gone up. Everybody went ahead and put up their own projects. The bankers also got some confidence. Otherwise, these bankers very difficult to get money from the bank, But sometimes they give thousands of crores to one fellow, they go fat. But for a small entrepreneur who wants to do something, experiment, they will not give even 10 crore, 10 crore loan he will not give. Even if he give, he will say it is 15% interest, then he will put 200 conditions, very difficult to fulfill, and he will go away and all those things. That's the banker, he wants to protect himself somehow. So now we need to make the bankers also to be more confident in financing these kind of venture items, solar pumps. One pump costs 5 lakhs, but that is the end. 5 lakhs you give, then you forget. You need not give subsidy throughout is the lifetime. Government of India gives 30% subsidy. The state government has to come forward to bridge the other gap. This is another area where we are thinking of and all those things. So solar pump, rooftop, and concentrated research, and this will help us to scale up our activities in a big way. And if you do all these things, then definitely this 50 gigawatt, what is it, 50,000 megawatt, it's a big thing. Today only I'm hearing this 50,000 and all those. Iyer always talks very big things and all those things, because some of his gurus are thinking big and all those things. So it is good to talk big things. This country is big. Our dreams are big. When we talk big, and if you have the passion, if you have the commitment, and if you have the confidence, definitely we will achieve it. And let us all work together. And then definitely we'll achieve it. And wish you all the best of luck in the days to come. Thank you.
That was an impeccable, I would say, with a very short time. I would have loved Pandit Sahab to speak more, but in a very short time, an impeccable direction which he has given. 3 things come out as I see Pandit Sahab telling us. One is to make the farmer powerful by offsetting that every day. It is like the old story. We says, okay, there is a friend, the friend, every day he comes. He does not know fishing. So every day we give him a fish. Then one fine morning, this other friend says, okay, my friend, I take you and teach you fishing. So once you teach him fishing, what you've done, you become the real guru. Then he says, okay, my guru taught me fishing. Now I can eat. And I can now teach somebody else fishing. So this is some game like that. So, and this game is an excellent game, because I think if Gujarat, Maharashtra, this, I would say, now the agriculture sector of Gujarat is looking very well. And Maharashtra is also very strong agriculture state. I can assure you that this will be no small amount, because if you calculate, a state like Maharashtra, if it offsets its pumping load, I would say, let's say 60% to be, I would say conservative, then I'm telling you they will release something like a megawatt scale. 5,000 megawatt could be the kind of release onto the grid in Maharashtra, which is roughly 22 gigawatt, on its capacity. And in spite of that, we face 6,000 megawatt of shortfall. That is the situation of Maharashtra. And I think Mahagenco is the second utility after NTPC in the country. Yet, it is sending most of the places in Maharashtra to darkness with a very high power loss, 30%. We had Negi Saab and we had a meeting, and I think Pandit Saab is leading that, which is need for smart grid. So that will also come, and Gujarat is again leading that. That would be another topic for us, which will come to Gujarat again. I can assure Pandit Saab that will come with smart city and smart Gujarat kind of a discussion here shortly with the help of all of you. But as I rightly see, Pandit Saab is trying to empower people. In this whole talk in 20 minutes, he's empowered people of the country, people of Gujarat. He is trying to completely make a policy which encourages off-grid decentralized capacities, and the phenomenal unleashing of power, and that is not only the formula of operating his own pump and completely getting independent of daily dependence, but releases huge amount of megawatts, I can tell you, back into the grid. The state will remain surplus forever. And we must give him a big hand for even thinking in this direction. Nobody is thinking in this way in the country. So I can continue because I can always have, another 15, 20 minutes on, and he would say, okay, again it is a danger for him. So I want to talk now less in praising him. I can't stop praising him. But with this we move forward, and we are very thankful to Pandian Saab to take away his very tough time today. He does not have time, I know, but he has come, and we really value you, sir, for this. Thank you, sir, once again. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and from my entire team. We also have a very interesting gentleman with us, Shri Ashwini Dhar. And Dhar Saab, we must introduce you here. This gentleman has built the brand BHL over roughly, I think, a decade or so. He is very, very humble. He does not want to say that. But BHL, whatever, I know the battles we have won together. There's a battle against the Chinese suppliers. Believe me, if there was one gentleman who supported. Now we have come to a level that the central government has come and agreed to impose 21% anti-dumping duty. Although this position is not what US government has taken. I forced the Forbes magazine, to an extent with this help, to produce the story. And US government took our figures on low technology anti-dumping duty. On solar is 31%. The figure written in my magazine in 3 rounds of my articles. So inertia has impacted US more than India. I'm sorry to say that. So I wanted to turn reverse. So we are 10 points below. See the figure, 21%. 10 points below, 21% anti-dumping duty, and it is still lying there. I think it is still not cleared. And internal sources tell me that over the next 15 or 20 days, we would be lucky, we could see a chance of that being implemented. And if that implements, we are coming to a different, because Indian businessmen have lost, and there are a lot of here, our entire photovoltaic industry is in suffering, I can tell you, and that will be, the light will be thrown by a few of the manufacturers here, like Vineet Jain Saab and others, and we need a definite fight on Chinese imports into India, because there is a real case of anti-dumping duty. And why I say, people like Dhar Saab, thanks to them, we started at thermal, now it is entering the solar. Thermal में हमने ये बात करी थी, हमने बोला कि China यहाँ dump कर रहा है, and I tell you all those Chinese turbines are in trouble wherever they are, and in fact their boilers don't work with Indian coal. They simply get away by saying कि भाई you never gave us the specification. And all the boilers, even our car engine does not open in 1 year, but these boilers have opened in 6 months, most of them. You opened up. It's like open heart surgery, and it is like a young child born and you're doing open heart surgery with the child. This is the situation of the thermal power sector in the ultra mega scale. So I hope this kind of situation does not arise in areas like solar. Solar will definitely win, because there is a little bit of a better situation in solar, because Indian manufacturers have come of age, they know the business, and they can beat them black and blue, because I have seen this happening in automotive sector. There is no Chinese car in this country. Let us remember, the strength of manufacturing has ensured this never happened. There is no, believe me, right now the Chinese mobiles are being sent out, and the ones who are sending them out are the Micromaxes of the world, the Carbons of the world. These are Indian brands, and some of them have beaten them. They've joined them. The factories is in China, but the design is in India. So this trend is seen in telecom also, and I wish definitely that this trend goes to every technology scale sector, including thermal, because now we have 6 manufacturers. Because solar will definitely do this. It will slowly get the Chinese players out of this scene. Of course, they will do their best to ensure, because they are getting hit in Europe, they'll get hit in America. So the immediate attack would be on India. There will be again a swarm of Chinese trying to enter in a big way into India, in spite of the anti-dumping duty. But I think Indian manufacturers will come of age with only 2 requests which I have for Pandian Saab, because secretaries and I would say bureaucrats can drive much stronger this. That is, we need to put up a seminar for the bankers together and tell the bankers that renewable energy financing, we should not do the FIT anymore, if possible. We should get financing for solar at 5%, because the Chinese are funding at 3.5% external commercial borrowings. Indian market is open for ECB, and we are going to compete in the ECB zone. And if we don't have a financing pattern, creating some kind of funds and all, we will never help our manufacturing industry and the developers. So the first thing that we must pitch with the central government, states and everybody is allow low cost carbon financing, non-carbon based financing for solar and other renewable energy. This is the game. So this is one suggestion and request that unless it is led by secretaries of your caliber, sir, this will not move. We as media people can support and speak and go forward, suggest, but the people who make the policy are you guys. You know, we must rise to this occasion, and I think people like you, and there are good people around the country on financing. Right, sir. But I hope we can raise this 5%. This 5% issue has not come, sir. You know, I haven't seen anybody talking, because see, we are talking of taxing even in our this thing, we recommended, is it a good idea to tax carbon-based power? That means tax the, and gain money from the coal-based power. I think instead of that, give low-cost financing to renewable energy, which is a far superior strategy, which will suddenly move this 50 can go to 100 gigawatt also. So that is the possibility. So with this, I once again thank Pandit Sahib.